Hey everyone, it's Mrs. McGrath here to do your number corner this morning. It is day number 4. We are on to November 5th, I believe. So let's flip over our calendar marker and see what we have for today. So yesterday we noticed that the height and the width were both increasing by 1 unit. I'm curious if it's going to continue today or if that pattern is going to change. Whoa, it looks like something totally different. I'm a little bit surprised, are you? So today I see that we have a height of 2 and a width of 2 units. And the color is blue, so I'm not sure yet if the pattern is going to be blue, green, green, purple, blue, green, green, purple, blue, green, green, purple, blue. I'm not sure if that's going to be a pattern yet or not, but something that's kind of in my mind. We're going to go ahead and record this on our observation sheet. So today is November 5th, so we're in the 11th month. It's just a little bit slow today. (11/5), so November 5th, 2020, our color was blue. And today we had a height of 2 and a width of 2. So again, going back to that array where we're looking at the height and the length, or the height and the width, and also connecting it to our rows and columns. So when I look back at that calendar marker, I see that I have 2 rows going across, and I have 2 columns going down, and I have a total of 4 squares today. So our area is 4. So it's definitely, I can't quite figure out what their pattern is yet. I feel like it's kind of all over the place. We were adding 1 and then now we subtracted 1 for our height. So I'm really not sure what to expect for tomorrow. My observation today is that we have a square again. I'm going to click that little box. It is a square. It is 2 by 2. So each side length here is the same, so I know it's a square for sure. I predict tomorrow won't be a square, that it will go back to a rectangle of some sort. We're going to go ahead and do our fraction spinner for today. All right, so I'm going to spin both of these. Boy, we keep getting a lot of 1s. So I spun a 1 and a 1/8. Oops. All right, a 1 and a 1/8. So let's go to our other chart. So today is again November 5th, 11/5. Number of pieces 1, and I spun a 1/8. And it looks like we're going to have to make another new number line today because we haven't done 8ths quite yet. So just like our other 2 number lines, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a 3rd number line, but this time it's going to be with 8ths. Bring that 1 over, so all of our 1s are pretty much in line, just about, whoops. I'm using my trackpad on my computer screen, so it's a little hard to move things here on my laptop. All right, so now I have to figure out where are we going to put these tick marks for 8ths. So I know 8ths are smaller than 4ths. So in my head here, I'm thinking that if I cut each of these 4ths in half, I should get 8 pieces. So I should get, if I put a line right here, I'd get 2 here and 2 more, so that's 4, 2 more, which is 6, and 2 more, which would make 8. So I'm going to start with my half. I have 2 pieces. Now I need to make my 4ths. So I want them to be as equal as possible. All right, so now I have 4ths, and now if I cut them again, I should end up with 8 equal pieces. So let's see. There's 2. There's 4 pieces. There's 6 pieces. And there's 8 pieces. So they're not perfect, but I think you get the idea that they're pretty well equal as I can make them using my laptop. And I need to label 1/8. So you can see down at the bottom how much smaller these eighths are than our fourth and our half pieces. Imagine if you were splitting a piece of, a pumpkin pie with your family. If you had to split it with 8 people, you would get a much smaller piece than if you were splitting it with just 2 or 4. So as that bottom number is getting bigger, the piece is actually getting smaller. Whoops. Oh goodness. All right, let me see if I can zoom in here because something is not quite right. 1/8 didn't. There's my 1/8. So I have 1 out of 8 pieces here, and I've got 7 more to go to fill up that 1 hole. So tomorrow we'll spin again and see if we can add on to one of these number lines that we have. So for today, we're actually going to look at another type of number line, but we're going to be using whole numbers for a change. There we go. All right, so you'll notice in this number line that it's skip counting by 5s. And you can pick out our friendly 10s here. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And we're going to be doing some rounding today. So when we're rounding, we're going to be looking to see where our target number falls and what it's closest to. You're going to hear me say the word multiple a few times. So the word multiple here, it sounds and looks a lot like multiply, and it's very closely related to multiplication. So if I take the number 5, for example, multiples of 5 are the numbers that you would be skip counting by, just like what's on our number line. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so on. Those are multiples of 5. Multiples of 10 would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on. So they're the numbers you would skip count by, or that you would be multiplying by. So here, I noticed that this 10 would be like 10 times 1, or 1 times 10, one group of 10. 20 is 2 groups of 10, so 2 times 10. This one would be 3 times 10, 4 times 10, and 5 times 10. So we're going to be getting into multiples as we start to learn a little bit more about multiplication. And we're going to talk about multiples a little bit while we're doing some rounding today. So on this number line, we have to place some numbers. So I'm looking at the number 48. Whoops, I'm not writing. 48. And we have to figure out where we want to place that number and what 2 multiples it falls between. So what 2 multiples of 10 would 48 fall between? Well, I know it's a little bit more than 45, but not quite 50. So it would be somewhere in the middle here. Now, it falls between the multiples of 40 and 50, those multiples of 10, 40 and 50. And it's much closer to the 50 mark. So we would say that 48 rounds to 50. How about the number 23? What 2 multiples of 10 would 23 fall between? it would fall between 20 and 30. And which one would it be closer to? So I have 20, 25, and 30. Well, that 3 tells me it's less than this 5. So it would be about here. So this mark of 23 is closer to 20 than it is to 30. So we would say that 23 rounds to 20. How about the number 57? Can you think of which multiples 57 would fall in between? What multiples of 10? 57 would fall between 50 and 60, somewhere in between these two 10s, 50 and 60. It falls about here, just above the 55, the halfway mark. So 57 is much closer to 60, so we'd say it rounds to 60. And our last one, we're going to do 72. So what two multiples of 10 does 72 fall between? I know it's somewhere between 70 and 80, and that 2 tells me it's less than this 5, maybe about here on my number line. So 72 looks like it would be much closer to 70 than it is to 80. So 72 would round to 70. That's all we're going to do for rounding today. But tomorrow we have a nice easy day to finish up our week where we're just going to look at our calendar grid and our unit fraction. So not quite as much work tomorrow.